This Week in Connecticut with Dennis House starts now.
Welcome to This Week in Connecticut. Greetings, everyone. I'm Dennis House. Straight ahead today, hundreds of residents forced from their homes during the bitter cold after poor conditions inside their apartment complex. The Attorney General and other lawmakers are investigating today. We get some answers from State Senator Matt Lesser, who's with us. Electric buses coming to Branford. Why the switch to an all-electric fleet? And big news from the Hartford Yard Goats this winter, a preview of the 2026 season with team president Tim Restall, also legendary Connecticut lawyer Coleman Levy, and the life lessons he wants to pass on to the next generation. First up on This Week, the lead. A massive apartment complex in Rocky Hill in trouble with state officials after hundreds of residents had to be evacuated due to lack of heat, water, and fire suppression systems. Joining me now is the state senator who represents those residents, Democrat Matt Lesser. And Senator Lesser, good to see you here in the program.
Good to see you too, Dennis.
So I said hundreds of people, but how many are we talking in total?
Well, we don't really know. There are 540 units. There's been estimates as many as 2,000 residents being displaced. It's a lot. It's a real challenge.
How did you first hear about the problem?
Well, after the snowstorm a couple weeks ago, after temperatures started to dip, we started hearing problems with burst pipes there. There was a lot of comments on social media. People started calling my office, but it just got worse and worse and worse. It was a cascading series of events, not one issue, but many issues. And it was very clear to me that we needed to take a closer look. So I went out there myself, met with some residents.
To the concierge?
To the concierge apartments, and it looked like a war zone. There were pipes down everywhere, cars that were damaged or destroyed from falling material caused by these pipe bursts. It looked just like a complete pandemonium.
And in your judgment, how would you assess the owner's reaction to this?
They were way too slow. They were not, clearly there was a long time of neglect, of inattention, of lack of investment in just keeping up this facility. And then they just were very, very slow in responding and communicating to their own tenants, and it was just a mess.
And this is a company, as I understand, in Los Angeles, correct? Under Connecticut law, do you have to have any local agent here who represents you if you own property here?
You know, they have people on the ground, but the response is just inadequate, and they certainly haven't given those folks the resources they need to make sure that they're offering a safe place for people to live. I mean, this is a $15 billion private equity business out there. They're a large, sophisticated company, and if they're going to run one of the larger complexes in our area, they should resource it appropriately.
It was really heartbreaking because a lot of people moved out for good. They said, we're done. We've had problems before, and we are done. Mm-hmm. What kind of help can they get?
Well, what we're looking to do is to secure a compensation from the owners, JRK, for the affected tenants, and also make sure that for folks who want to, that they can terminate their leases, that they're not held to that because this company is not letting them out of their leases. And then a lot of folks do want to come back, but they need to have the investment necessary to make sure that it's safe, that they're addressing water damage and mold, that they're able to get people back who would like to get back as quickly as possible.
This could have statewide ramifications for apartment complexes in any city, town across the state. What kind of things are you and other lawmakers doing to protect residents?
Well, one of the things you've seen on this that really is unprecedented is a full-throated investigation from Attorney General William Togg. Now, the Attorney General hasn't gotten involved historically in landlord-tenant issues, but just the scale of this and just the level of aggrievement has usually led to this unprecedented investigation. And it could be a sign of things to come if the Attorney General's investigation is successful, if he's able to uncover problems or not, or to achieve a satisfactory solution for these tenants. You know, you could see that as being a future type of thing.
In your opinion, do you think any laws need to be changed or strengthened?
We're going to take a look at all of that. I think that is something that is very much on the table. Look, at this point, it's up to JRK to make a case that they're going to do right by the people of Rocky Hill and by their hundreds of tenants and see what they can do.
We have tens of thousands of people who rent apartments across Connecticut. What's your advice to them if they're looking for a place right now? What should they be on the lookout for? How do you know if you're going to a place that is well maintained and has good owners?
You know, the folks that I talked to were warned about bait and switch things where they were shown one unit and then offered another unit. You want to make sure that you're doing your due diligence and that you're making sure that you're reading reviews that are out there and talking to some tenants to see what their experience is with. Because in this particular case, there was a whole history of bad actions, of prior incidents, of pipe freezes and other issues that just weren't adequately addressed. And so, tenants should, do their research. And so I also understand, though, that there is a housing shortage in much of Connecticut, and so there aren't enough options out there, and so that's what makes this so challenging. Is when you have this number of residents displaced, they're not necessarily great options. They're not places for them to go, and so for policymakers, we have to figure out what can we do to make sure that there are good options out there so people can shop around.
Still a developing story. We'll have to wait and see. How long do you think? Briefly, how long that investigation will last?
I don't know the investigation. I do know that several hundred residents were able to move back this week, and we're hoping that others will be moving back shortly, but we're pushing them to move as quickly as possible.
State Senator Matt Lester, we appreciate you joining us.
Of course.
Today. Thank you. When we come back, going green to school.